with Naruto was a part of Team 10, part 5, the last time we left off on Naruto summoning his and the last time you guys didn't comment on what you thought his summoning should be. So I'm gonna pick it myself. He's gonna have a dragon summoning. We're gonna say all Uzumaki clan members usually have this summoning, depending on if the dragon feels they're worthy or not. So Naruto and his blue dragon go on to burn Shikaku's tail off. And we're gonna say this weakens Shikaku very badly because it's his tail. So Naruto, he what hold on. Naruto, his dragon doesn't have wings like you would think. It's like one of those dragons without wings, but they still fly. They just float in the air, and they have legs, but they don't have wings. So Naruto's dragon bites down on Kaku's shoulder and allowing Naruto to crawl up on it, and he punches Gaara through the sand and tells Gaara about how he doesn't have to do this, and Naruto could be there for him whenever he needs Naruto. He can just call him, and he'll be there for him. And Gaara just shouldn't be doing this because he's the one tail, and he shouldn't listen to all those people calling him a demon. If anything, he should be proving them wrong and becoming something important. And Naruto, he tells Gaara about how his whole life was him being disrespected and treated like trash until he met some of the Shikamaru and his team and the Hokage. So Naruto and Gaara basically become friends from there. And 2 days later, we're gonna say he sees Gaara off, and they leave, and we're gonna say we do a time skip a day, and Naruto and his team are basically finna go on a C rank again, another C rank. Well, this is one of the most important C ranks that they're finna do. So Naruto, he and his team are basically hunting down these rogue nin, and the goal is to kill them and bring back tough, basically, like, because they know that Naruto can still pretty much a person. Like, he's probably still Kakashi in a scroll. And Naruto, he's able to scroll body parts, and they know this, so they tell him to, once he get there, to seal a part of their, like a limb or something. So Naruto, they go, and they see like the rogue nin in about a week, or not a week, 3 days, and you're gonna say they're walking up to him, and Naruto sees one, and he basically stabs one through the chest with his chakra chains, and then Naruto basically is flying down to the body because somebody snatched the chain, and he's spinning around in there, and then he gets thrown into like a mountain, and he puts a huge crater in it, and Naruto, he can barely get up, but then he gets up and he charges as fast as he can, taking off his weights because he knows this dude is strong, and he takes the dude down to the ground with chakra chains until his chakra chains break. And then I'm pretty sure I said Naruto and Kurama became friends in like the first part. So Naruto, he goes in his head and asks Kurama for some power, and Naruto, he goes to one tail, and then he punches the dude in the face, and he flies into the mountain and puts almost a hole through the mountain. And Naruto, he appears behind the dude and kicks him, Naruto, he's starting to run out of energy, and he's getting tired and getting slower. And the dude's starting to be able to catch up with him until he completely is, and he throws Naruto and was putting a punch him till Ino jumps in front of Naruto, and she gets punched into a tree and breaks through the tree. Well, 3 trees to be exact. And Naruto thinks she's dead because she basically didn't get up for like 4 minutes. And then Shikamaru gets kicked in the face, and Asuma is actually handling another one because another one showed up. And Naruto, he's angry because he thinks his teammates died, and he grows basically the four tails, and his skin peels off and is fully red. And he wars, and the dude's starting to fly back. Naruto punches him and smashing him in the ground. And he keeps punching, and then he rips his head off. And then he sees the other person, and he basically does a tail beast bomb and blows it at him. And Asuma is able to get over there in time and put the seal thing on him. So Naruto passes out, and we're gonna say they go back to Konoha, and they just grab the limbs instead of killing them because Naruto's not there. And then Naruto, he's at a place, he's at the hospital, and Ino's beside him in the chair by his bed. And Naruto, he's been in a coma for about 3 months, but he's been training in like his head in his mindscape with Kurama, and he's seen Kushina and Minato, and he's basically able to, he's opened the gate, and he's basically able to was basically able to make a house and was be able to train with Kurama and give Kurama a human form so they can train together. And Naruto and Kurama training together one day when Kurama said that it's time for Naruto to awake. And Naruto's confused, and then he realizes what he's talking about. And we're gonna say in these past 3 months, Naruto's unlocked all 5 chakra natures, and he can make 10 chakra chains, and he's unlocked on the ability of, like, you know how Karin's ability to sense people's chakra natures from very, very far distance. Naruto can do that too. So Naruto, he wakes up and he sees Ino by him crying, and then Naruto, he finds out that Asuma's died, and basically Asuma was basically his brother, not his brother, his uncle at that point. And Naruto, he gets up and he doesn't even say anything after hearing that. He gets up and they try to stop him from leaving the hospital because he's still badly injured, but he doesn't care. He leaves, he goes home. And we're gonna say it passes another month, and Naruto's basically been shutting himself out from everybody, not going on the missions, and till he hears that Sasuke's left the village, and Naruto, he's really angry, and he leaves, and this time Ino comes with him, with everybody, and we're gonna say Lee got the surgery a month before he left, because this time it's been 4 months in between the tuning exams and the time Sasuke left. So Naruto, he leaves with the team, and exact same thing happens with them, except for when Kiba leaves to fight that one dude, stays with them too. And Naruto is able to catch up to Sasuke when Rock Lee fights Kaminomaru from the beginning. And Naruto, sees Sasuke, and he tells Sasuke that he might as well just come back to the village right now because he doesn't have time for his bull, and he really doesn't feel like handling Sasuke's attitude and how he can't just leave his friend behind. And Sasuke told him how he's gonna kill Naruto here, and he's not gonna be able to beat him this time. And Naruto, this makes him mad, and he goes off. He charges at Sasuke. He takes his stuff off automatically. He takes off his weights, and he punches Sasuke in the face, and Sasuke goes flying into the statue, into the leg, and Madara, and puts a crater in it. And Sasuke wipes off some blood off his nose, and he tells Naruto that that was a pretty good punch, but he can't pull something off like that again. And then Naruto, he's getting angrier and angrier. And then Sasuke thinks it's a good idea to talk about Asuma to throw Naruto off his game. And then he starts talking about Asuma, and he automatically goes into a six-tail state. But he can control it since him and Kurama are friends now. And Kurama is already out of the gate and stuff. So Naruto, he beating Sasuke to near death until Sasuke just can't even stay awake anymore, and he sits there, Naruto sitting there crying in the rain until he passes out, and they come and they think Naruto's dead, because Naruto, he's pretty bloody too, and they see that his skin is almost all the way off. So Naruto, he actually still got stabbed in the shoulder and got those fatal wounds. So he's been in the hospital for like a week. And then, comes to talk to him and how Shikamaru been wanting to talk to him. And they talk to him and talk about how they know that he's been grieving over Asuma's death, but they tell him how Asuma wouldn't want him to be like this and would want his nephew to always prosper. And Naruto, he takes this to heart, and then, tells Naruto how she wants to talk to him later in private. And Naruto, he agrees to this, and they eventually go to like the fourth Hokage's head, and they start talking, and talks about how she's been scared for Naruto and thinking how she's been worried about his mental state recently and his physically, because Naruto really hasn't been around anybody, and he's been training harder and harder because she's watching him train, and how he's just pushing himself to the limit every time he trains, and that's gonna eventually get him killed. And Naruto, he looks at Ino, and he lifts up her face, and Ino starts blushing, and Naruto kisses her, and Ino kisses him back. And, they eventually, a week later, Ino and Naruto officially start dating. And we're gonna say, a month from then, Naruto and Jiraiya are having to go on their 3-month time skip. And we're gonna say when Naruto was in his coma, they already got Tsunade back without him. So they leave. Him and Jiraiya leave for the 3 years. And I'm actually gonna be going in a little bit of detail in their training, because it's gonna actually be more than just nothing happening. Because I feel like in Naruto, he didn't really learn anything ever except for the Rasengan, except for improving his Rasengan and Shadow Clone and his Kurama chocolate usage. So Naruto, he's been basically training for the first year. Him and Jiraiya really were going out and seeing how Naruto can improve with his Rasengan. And Naruto, he eventually makes a perfect within the first year. Takes him a whole year to make a perfect what was I gonna say? Perfect fire style Rasengan. And it's not like a Rasen Shuriken and he types a regular fire style Rasengan, and it basically he would hit you with the Rasengan and it would engulf you with fire and basically burn really bad. So Naruto, he second year is working on Taijutsu, and not Taijutsu. Taijutsu. And Naruto, since the time when he fought that one dude on the sea rank, he thought if he needs the karma chakra to do that, to actually damage someone like him, then he needs to practice way more. And Naruto, he's basically to not a plus level in type in strength, and the lead plus level, he's already been lead plus level in speed. Manito plus level in speed, and Naruto, he's able to do that in a year. And the third year, he is basically just going to learn how to do the body flicker mastered. He's mastered the body flicker jutsu, like C-suite level body flicker. And that's the third year. In the fourth year, Jiraiya, he leaves on business, and Naruto decides that he's just gonna travel because he really hasn't seen that much of the world. So first he goes, in the first month, he goes to, well actually, this is where I'm gonna stop because this is really annoying. It's getting on my nerves. My not smart family is getting on my nerves. So that's where I'm gonna end it. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you never miss when I upload another video. Peace.